Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of Perfect Album Sides. Today is day 13, and we've got, look who's here in the co-captain's chair, all the way from Canada, Mr. Armando Venditti. Welcome, my friend. How are you this morning?
Good morning. Doing good. Doing good. How are you doing, Pete?
Doing okay. Doing okay. I'm excited to talk about two very cool perfect album sides. And again, for those of you who maybe are watching us for the first time on this particular show, we're doing this every day in the month of May. We're doing it every day in the month of May. And basically what we've done is we picked out a side of music from something that probably was released on vinyl or at least cassette, where there's a delineation of a side one, a side two, side A, side B. Maybe if it's a double album, maybe you've got side C and D, 3 and 4, so on and so forth. Got to be at least two songs on the side. And in our opinion, all of the songs are 5 out of 5-star classics. So if you are at all, if you're watching at home and if you're at all kind of like iffy on one of the tracks on that side, shouldn't be considered a perfect album side, right? So we've been going through all sorts of cool albums this month, and it's amazing how many classics that you would think would make this particular show. And then when you really start looking at those sides, you're like, yeah, well, 3 out of those 4 songs I love to death. That other one, it's okay. Okay doesn't quite cut it in this instance. So gotta be, we have to love every song that's on there. So with all that being said, I'm going to have Armando kick us off with his perfect album side for today.
Well, and again, thank you for having me here, Pete. And you know, guys, he is such a gentleman for letting the guests go first. I swear to God. Perfect host. You know.
Mother taught me well.
So did mine. Anyways, okay, to start this off, my selection, I'm going to try and lift up the one you probably can see. It's Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell. Okay. A little bit of background on this. It was released October 11th, 1977 on Cleveland International / Epic Records. Cleveland International was a smaller label distributed through Epic. And the side that we're going to talk about is side 2. It has 3 songs, 3 longish songs. And to me, I was listening to it this morning just to make sure, and I picked the right one, actually. Yes, I did. It's fantastic. It starts off with 283 Ain't Bad. And it, you know, the song basically talks about this individual who is telling his wife or his girlfriend that he wants her, he needs her, but he'll never gonna love her. So it's like, I don't know, any person that would listen to that and say, oh, please stay with me, you get the hell kicked out of you if that ever happened, right? And just for a little quick note, this song was the last song to be written for the album. Well, the very last track, the one that it was replaced a song called More Than You Deserve. It's a beautiful ballad, very lush arrangements, very symphonic in spots. The second track is the epic, the monstrous Paradise by the Dashboard Light, whose original version was 27 minutes.
Just think about that for a second.
If you can think
long as it is, right?
27 minutes. WTF? Hello?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. And it was cut down to 8 minutes, 45 seconds. And Meatloaf was saying, what has been said, that he had said to Todd Rundgren, who produced and engineered the album, you ruined the song. You ruined the song. He's like, 27 minutes down to 8. I ruined the song. Give me a break. Down to 8 minutes. Just listen to the track and something. Get over it already. But the track, it should be, it's your, how can I put this diplomatically? It's good diplomacy. It's your basic parking song, going parking with your girlfriend. And it's split up into 2, or in this age, your boyfriend, whatever you want to do. It's split up into 3 sections. First section is Paradise, where he's trying to, you know, get the girl to go all the way with him, right?
First base, second base, third base.
Yes, yes. complete with the play-by-play by, I believe it was Phil Rizzuto.
No Rizzuto, that's right. Yep.
That was done. And also just for the drummer on this was Max Weinberg from Bruce Springsteen's E Street Band, and Roy Bittan, who plays piano and synthesizer on this. The second part is once he thinks he's getting to third base and going home, she stops him. And the second part is, let me sleep on it. Because she's telling him, are you gonna love me forever if you go further? And he's like, oh boy, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Which most people will do that. Most teenage guys will do that. Let's be honest, right?
She wants to think about it. He's like, but honey, I'm horny.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly. The guy is thinking, can I get some? That's basically what he's trying to do. And she's like, I can't do it. I don't know. Right. And so the third part is praying for the end of time, where he realizes, okay, we've done the deed. She wants more. How the hell can I get my foot out of this bear trap?
Yeah.
Right. That she set for me. And he's doing everything except gnawing at his own foot to get away from her. Right. And and then the song fades out, on the two of them singing, like doing a duet. It's basically teenage angst and love gone awry.
Yeah.
Right. It's drama, it's comedy. You laugh, you cry, becomes a part of you. Really. Like,
it's kind of like be careful what you wish for type of story.
Yeah, because it's going to come true.
Yeah.
Okay. The third track on side 2 is called For Crying Out Loud. A beautiful, it starts out, a piano piece starts out very soft, very slow. And the guy is basically, the character in the song is basically reflecting on his life and his relationship with his girlfriend or his wife. And it goes into like certain movements where it's very dramatic. It comes up and then it levels off. It comes up, like it takes you through peaks and valleys. And then at the last, I'd say about 1:30 or maybe 2 minutes, he's reflecting back again on how he, is grateful for all that she's done for him. Right? Like forgiving him a child when his body was old, all that kind of stuff. Just for sharing his life with him and giving him more than he could ever give her. Right? So, and in terms of the music, it's just a fantastic track. The whole side, it talks about various relationships. Each song is like a different play with a beginning, a middle, and an ending. And to me, it's sublime.
I like the fact that you mentioned play, because I find that side 1 is more of the rock and roll side, and side 2 or side B is more of the kind of like the Broadway musical play, right?
Yeah, well,
got that feel to it, like a rock
exactly.
opera.
I mean, these songs were never meant to be recorded for an album. They were little plays. The original version of Bat Out of Hell, the title track, was 45 minutes long. Right? And Rundgren said, how the hell am I going to do this? How the hell am I going to put all these songs on one album? Just give me the music, I'll fix it. I'll cut it down. To me, this album, and just raise it up like this, is perfection from start to finish. But we're starting with side 2. So for me, this is a classic. I first started when I was 8 years old on 8-track. Ladies and gentlemen, this is perfection done. And that's my pick.
There you go. For me, I bought that when it came out, and I've had it for, obviously a long time. And I applaud you for picking side 2, because I think if I was to look at it, I really like side 1 a lot. Heaven Can Wait, though, I don't think is a 5 out of 5 for me. Everything else is. So I think side 2 or side B, yeah, that's perfect right there. That's a great choice. Good choice.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, great album. It's one of the classics of the 70s, right? One of the biggest selling albums of the decade. So
Yeah.
good choice.
Yeah.
All right. So my choice today, as I've told people so far in the early part of this month when doing this show, is I'm very conscious of certain albums that I talk a lot about. And I made a conscious decision that I was going to try as best as I could to try and find those perfect album sides that aren't, and I'm going to give you a few of them this month, but aren't necessarily those albums that I always talk about, right? You got Rainbow Rising side 2 for me a couple days ago. Yeah, of course I was going to do that, but there are many of the picks I'm going to try and go to, I've had to think long and hard about, because I don't want to always go reach for the one album that I know probably has two easy sides that are perfect. I want to go find another one that maybe one of the sides is equally as perfect that I don't normally would talk about or, consider. And my choice today is a perfect representation of that. This album was released January 12th, 1971 for the Vertigo label in the UK, Mercury in the US, but I'm specifically going to talk about the UK release because to me, I think the sequencing of the tracks was different on both albums. And I prefer, because I've always had the UK version of this, I prefer the UK track list over the US. And it's side A or side 1 of Uriah Heep's Salisbury.
Ah, okay, that is the UK version.
Yeah. So the US basically flip-flops a couple of tracks. And I think that, the UK side 2 is really good too, but the way the UK version is, this side 1 is amazing and perhaps one of the best sides in all of the discography of Uriah Heep. So let's start it off with Bird of Prey, which is just this great hard charging rock, it's got a great riff. It's got those really high pitched vocals from David Byron, just a fantastic heavy rock track. And again, this is 1971. This is pretty heavy for 1971. From there, it goes into which I think is the sleeper song on the album, which is The Park, which is this kind of moody, atmospheric, meditative kind of song with very gentle, organ, and you got the bass and the drums. Everything's very kind of militaristic. And then you've got this great vocal from David Byron, who's kind of whispering, singing. And then around the chorus, he does these kind of little high pitched things. What a great song. Underrated track on this album. And I absolutely love The Park. And then we go back to heavy rock with Time to Live, which has those amazingly crunchy guitar chords from Mick Box with Ken Hensley's organ right up there next to him. It's so heavy, it's plodding, it's kind of doomy, it's kind of Sabbath-like almost in a weird way. Great vocal. What's that?
I've heard the album. Sorry.
Yeah, it's this is one of their underrated albums in my opinion, especially for the early part of the catalog. Really good. And then, so after that heaviness, so you've got Bird of Prey, really heavy, The Park, more kind of atmospheric, kind of moody. Then you got Time to Live, back to big, heavy, almost doomy, riffy, early 70s heavy rock. And then the side ends with the absolutely sing-along classic Lady in Black, which is basically like an acoustic number. And that is the song where, Uriah Heep plays it live. Everybody sings, it's got a great Ken Hensley vocal on it. You got David Byron with him on the chorus. Just such a great acoustic, kind of folky sing-along track. And it's become one of their legendary songs. And it's funny because if you're don't really know much about Uriah Heep and you see the song title, like Lady in Black, well, that must be a really heavy song. It's actually not at all. So what's great about this side is that you've got two really heavy tracks, one kind of real acoustic catchy track, and then the one kind of moody, just atmospheric piece. And they're all amazing. Side 2 is great too. You got High Priestess and Salisbury, the epic title track too. But I think for me, side 1 is just absolutely knock it out of the park. And, again, my first instinct was to reach for, Demons and Wizards or Look at Yourself or Abominog, right? Because those are some of my favorites. Yeah. But I was like, there's got to be another one, right? So I started looking at all the other albums. I'm like, yeah, this is the one. So that's my pick from 1971. Side A of Uriah Heep Salisbury. And we've got on Armando's side, we've got side B of Meatloaf, Bat Out of Hell. So there are your perfect album sides for this episode today. So in the comments or in the chat, let us know what you think about these two album sides, and whether you like them or maybe not, whatever. And but also make sure you post your perfect album side for today. You guys have been great each and every day. Man, we got hundreds and hundreds of comments on every one of these videos. I love the fact that people are really digging this particular series. And like I said, I may just do it for June as well, because that's how popular it's been. So trust me. There you go. Count Armando in. So speaking of Armando, he's coming back for tomorrow as well. So stay tuned for that tomorrow morning. And then we've got all sorts of episodes coming up each and every day this month. So stay with us every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another perfect album side. And visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. Make sure you check us out and like us on Facebook. But more importantly, come back here and visit us, where we spend each and every day all together here on YouTube. For Armando Venditti, I am Pete Pardo. See you tomorrow morning with another perfect album side. Till then, have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.